All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to Average Takes, baby. We're back coming off the bye week, coming off strong. We have been rolling on all cylinders to start
Yes,
this
sir.
season off. Or actually, not to really start the season off, but the last 3 weeks before our bye, we all had been hitting, slamming the average takes, not so average parlay. We've been doing great in the picks. I feel like we were going a lot of 10-4s, 9-5s. Like, that's a great week.
Yes, sir.
We're picking every game. I watch some of these shows, they do 40-minute segment and pick 6 games and barely go 500. I mean, we're going above 500 and picking every game of the slate. Like, if you bet with us all year long, I'm sure you're making money, especially if you're taking the average takes parlay, because I'm already up almost $1,000 just on the average takes parlay alone.
And we're gonna keep it
Period.
rolling,
Yeah, like, and that's just
steaming.
putting $25 down a week, ladies and gentlemen. $25 down a week.
Legally.
I,
That
I,
is that is the listen, that is the epitome of responsible gambling if I ever seen one.
I mean,
Twenty
hey,
five
buddy.
dollars a week and you're almost up 1,000.
Yeah,
No other show podcast is gonna do that for you. I can guarantee that.
those
We
units are unreal right there.
we might be the best gambling podcast slash Twitter legally ever made.
I mean, yeah, I got this fucking motorhome in the middle of Arizona just so I could goddamn bet. So,
Love it.
I mean,
That's also dedication. That is responsible gambling and that is dedication at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean,
If
this
you're
is
listening to the podcast, he is in a trailer. I can confirm that. If you're
if
on
you're
YouTube,
watching, you could
you
also
can see.
confirm I am no longer in the Average Shake studio. We're in a mock studio that's been going on this entire NFL season.
So we could bet. Just so we can
I
bet.
can bet. I'm going insane in here. Treat me like monkeys. Tell me, give me picks just for food.
And now you're eating
Uh,
good. And you're eating good now.
I'm gonna, man. I gained a little bit of LBs. It feels like I'm eating good
You
right
went you went 6 weeks starving and now you're eating good.
about. Well, man, this was a great week for buy for all cases in purpose. Don't know what I was trying to say there, but I did a pick'ems league and work that I do every week. I think I got 6 games, so I'm glad this was a buy on the podcast. That record
Yeah.
just gets
Also, same. I had a very bad week of picking in my head. The way these games turned out, it would have been very bad if it was on paper. Thank God we had a buy.
Damn, that's
Love it.
crazy. I went undefeated this week, no cap.
you shut your mouth, you
Fucking
liar.
capper, capper, cap.
And what's great about a bye week is that I had it was a long week, it felt like.
Yeah, facts. Did feel
Um,
long.
but it feels so good to be back. My energy is through the roof. And these games had me excited because for the first time, and I think the week, whatever, top whatever, it's a mix up. Like, I almost had to get a fresh piece of paper for this.
Oh, don't show us your picks.
I flexed old picks. Those are some old picks.
Uh,
But yeah, this was great. I'm very excited for this week's week whatever, top whatever, because of my number one team. And I think we could just get started right into it. We're gonna mix the games along. If you're new here, welcome to Average Shakes. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Um,
welcome,
show
welcome,
some
welcome,
love.
welcome.
But this is our week whatever, top whatever week we're on, we're giving you our top team. And this is going to be a tradition we carry on forever because I love the idea. Because when it gets to the most boringest week of the year, I have to give you my top fucking 17 teams. I think that's funny in my head. Might not be that funny, but it's week 10. I got to give you top 10 teams when this list is totally changed from before we went on a bye week.
Yes, sir.
At least for me, we went like 5 weeks in a row of the same teams in the same places.
Yep. Playing good football.
I got a little spaghetti now. We had a little entanglement per se.
Okay, Jada. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, I could get started with my number one team and talk about the number one game this weekend.
Don't do it.
Dude,
I'm gonna do it.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna
let's
do
get
it.
to talking about this game.
We're gonna talk about it. This has been the best game of
Can't
the
be your
year.
number one team.
This is my number one team.
Holy fuck.
A couple weeks ago, week 8, they were my number 4 team. But
Now you're number one.
they have jumped. I mean, this Vikings versus Bills game was absolutely bananas. Let's just say that. The Vikings were down 24-10 at half, and it felt like the Bills were just going to carry on. The Vikings were going to lose another game versus a really good team and have only beaten the easy teams of their schedule and whatnot. Was hearing a lot of that at halftime. Yahoo Sports put an L chain up early for Kirk Cousins and such. But man, was this second half great. Jay Jettas, man. He might have just shown the league why he's the best.
Made the catch of the year for sure.
Catch it on 4th and 18. Kirk Cousins just hawks a loogie of a football up, and fucking Jay Jettas comes down with a one-handed, gets tackled, tucks it. Beautiful insane catch. This game goes into overtime. And Jay Jettas, man, just puts on an absolute show this entire game. What do you have? 200 yards, 10 catches, and a tutty.
I think it was 196.
197, I think, to be or something like, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. He put up an insane game. He also blocked extremely well. If you are into blocking, as I am, because I'm a former offensive lineman, don't know how many times you could shout out a former offensive lineman, but I do every time I can. But Jay Jettas, he was blocking magnificently. Like, if YouTube didn't pull down every time I put up a clip of fucking game, I would put up a clip of him just making great blocks. Cook had a 67 or 73-yard touchdown rush. Jay Jettas makes the block of the play, seals off the safety, and Cook goes right up, gone. I mean, this was the Cook versus Cook game, the brotherly love.
And Dalvin looked like shit.
I just gotta say this was a great game. I, for one, did not believe the Vikings were a true team. They had only beaten like bad competition. If you looked at their schedules, a lot of bad teams. But this was my number one team, and I think our number one team for a long time. I know Josh Allen isn't fully healthy, maybe didn't play his best. But the Vikings proved to me they're 8-1?
Yep.
They've been playing really good football. They added TJ Hawkinson at the trade deadline. He's helped them a lot. I mean, Kirk Cousins is playing his best ball right now. Patrick Peterson with a game-saving interception.
Patrick Peterson wearing all 80 chains.
Yeah, I love how that's their celebration now. Like,
yeah, that's so fire.
Yeah, if you make it like great play or something like that, great game.
Patrick Peterson said it's cold on this plane.
Yeah, he had 2 interceptions.
I wish it was a little cuzzy, but I'm okay with Pat P getting some love. Going back to the Jay Jettas point, man's a beast. I've been arguing for the last 3 years. Jay Jettas is better than Jamar Chase. Everyone's bringing up arguments with me. I'm always set on Jay Jettas. He is an absolute stud. And that's why they traded Stephon Diggs. And Stephon Diggs is an absolute monster too. But when you got this guy come in, you can get some draft picks from a team standpoint. Maybe that was the right move because they are looking good now.
Is that not the most equalist trade in NFL history to this point? Like, you traded Stephon Diggs for the 23rd overall pick. The 23rd overall pick ended up being Jay Jettas. I mean, they've both turned out great for their franchises. Both seem to be in perfect spots. I mean, yeah, it looked like Diggs early was like, oh, why would you trade Stephon Diggs? Well, you got a first-round pick, which a wide receiver for a first-round pick doesn't really like one for one. You don't see much of that. And for it to turn out perfect for the Vikings, for the Eagles to mess up the Jalen Reagor pick so bad that
Yeah.
you just landed an absolute beast, and Jay Jettis is going to be a threat for a long time. And he's playing great football. He runs good routes, catches the ball, um, is an excited young football
It's a
player.
trendsetter.
Yeah, yeah, he is. I mean, did he start the gritty or no?
Yes.
Yes. So I mean, I just
He
wanted to point out that
he
was
was
Did
the
you guys
first
see-
gritty I've seen.
Did you guys see each other gritty this weekend and his O lineman like fucking try to give him a heart attack or something?
No,
shaking him back and
I
forth?
thought you were about to say he pulled his hammy, and the announcer was all like, "Oh, it looks like he got hurt on that celebration."
Yeah.
And then
But
he was
it was that time he like faked the injury, then started doing the gritty, and then his O lineman grabbed him and like started fucking with him. It's crazy.
That's my number one team, man. I mean, I might just be all in on the Vikings this early, but I like that team. The offense is loaded, and that defense, Azarius Smith. The Packers are still paying him, and he's absolutely killing it for the Vikings. Leads the league in sacks right now, doesn't he? I mean, 9.5
No,
or something right now. No,
does not lead the league.
I'm
That belongs to Alex Highsmith.
No,
like
I'm right there with you though, Bob. Vikings my
Water.
number one also. I mean, you
Vikings
can't say
number
it
one
better.
for you too.
Vikings is number
Wow.
one for me also. You can't beat the number one team that's been the number one team for the past 4 weeks and not be at least top two. I mean, Vikings are killing it right now,
And your
playing
only
really
loss
well.
is versus a team who has been great all year.
Yeah.
To them, but I mean, I really think that Vikings are playing great ball right now.
Mhm.
You beat who you got to beat, and man, I just feel absolutely great right now because I'm pretty sure I picked them to win the division.
Nice.
Division.
My 1 and 2 teams, my 1, 2, 3 teams, and 4 teams I picked, but 14 may look all right. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Shani, you're number one.
My number one might come as a surprise for everyone else. I guess 'cause we're not on the same page. The Kansas City Chiefs are my number one team.
Oh,
Coming up on the standings for me, I thought losing Tyreek Hill was going to be a big problem for them, but they continue to add. They got Kadarius Toney, and I think he's going to be dangerous in this next coming weeks. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
he's
I
gonna be
think
Tyreek
playing,
Hill 2.0.
Yeah.
I can already see it happening.
yeah, and I think playing with an elite quarterback does make you better. You do not have to be an elite wide receiver to be a good receiving threat. They still have Travis Kelce, who continues the ball out, and then I want to shout out Isaiah Pacheco. I think he is going to be a stud for them. He's already looking better than Clyde, and Clyde was nowhere to be found this weekend.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for Clyde. I mean, it's a good trade piece for them this offseason, I guess, but his role has definitely diminished over the past couple weeks, and he's on one of my fantasy teams, so it's sad to see. But the Chiefs are really good. Kadarius Toney, for him not having a touchdown in the NFL to getting one right off the bat with the Chiefs, this game, I mean, it just seems easier when Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. And
Yes, sir.
it's been like that since he's entered the league. I mean, yeah, Tyreek Hill's a great wide receiver. And I'm not taking anything away from any of his targets. I mean, like Travis Kelce, he's absolute stud. But Patrick just makes the game easier for that offense. He makes everything flow, everything, all the rhythm, all the juice. The Chiefs are a great team right now, and they're kicking on all cylinders, but I don't think their defense is as good as the Vikings right now, so they're not my one team.
But what's weird is to me is their defense can get stiff when they need to be.
It definitely does. Their defense is a lot better than what people say it is, because you're
Yeah.
right. Like, the numbers don't transition to when they need a stop. They are pretty good at like locking up every once in a while. Like, that D line definitely, and linebackers are pretty good. Yeah, their corners and safeties might get burned a little bit, but I like their like middle beef part of the defense. A
Yeah.
lot, obviously.
And I also do think if the Chiefs and the Vikings were to play at the moment next week, I believe the Chiefs would beat them.
I believe the Chiefs can beat anyone on any night. So
Any
That's why
given Sunday.
that's why they're my number one.
Any given Sunday.
All right, all
Um,
right.
number two.
I'll transition because mine is the Kansas City Chiefs. They're sitting at number 2 for me. A really good team. I think Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid is just an unstoppable offensive duo. I mean, Patrick Mahomes makes Andy Reid's job so easy. Andy can call whatever he wants in that playbook, and Pat Mahomes can pull it off. But I mean, he's just playing really well, playing with the chip on his shoulder, playing like he's been here before. Tyreek Hill being gone has not phased him at all. A lot of players stepping up. Defense is great, like you guys are saying. Chiefs number 2 for me.
Yep. Juju baby.
He got
Juju got smacked
That
up,
was scary.
stiffened up.
that was scary.
Scary times, yeah. Vontez perfect, basically.
No,
Right back
he
at him.
hit Vontez Perfect way harder
I
than
know.
that
No,
guy hit
no,
him.
no, no, no,
No,
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no, no,
Yes,
no, 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 no,
yes.
no, 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 no.
He can take a hit. He's fine. He's fine.
No.
The Chiefs are my number 3 team. My number 3 team. You guys had them at number 2. My number
Wow.
2 is the Eagles. I mean, they lose tonight on Monday night. We waited for that game to finish because I wanted the entire slate of games before we came back from the bye.
And because when we were about to podcast, the Eagles were losing, had to see what would come the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, they do lose. They're no longer undefeated, but I still think they're a really good team. And I honestly can say that I believe that was a little bit of a fluke loss. So I'm going to tag my first fluke game of the season to that one.
Oh.
I absolutely agree.
They had a couple.
Oh.
They had a couple mistakes, a couple late game penalties, a couple things that didn't go their way, a couple flags. I
Drop
mean, yeah, they
balls,
did get
fumbles.
outplayed at the end of the day when you look at the scorebook. But I still think the Eagles are a great team. And it definitely showed tonight without Jalen Davis, their first round pick, defensive lineman, nose guard, who I loved coming out of the draft. It really showed. Him not being there affected their running game or their rush defense, I should say. And the commies absolutely took that over. But I still think the Eagles are a great team, man. They're really well built. And I always like looking at around this part of the year, week 10, the draft order for next season. And the Eagles being this good with a top 5 pick next year is so unfair. But I mean, their GM is just smart. Like Howie Roseman got clowned for a little bit with his moves, and then all of a sudden created a juggernaut of a team, and they have a great future ahead of them. They're a really young team, man. Like 24 to like 28, I would say, is their average age range, except their offensive line, which is a couple old guys who are studs. But I really, really like that Eagles team. I think that they're going to be good for seasons and years to come.
What do you think they get with that 5th overall pick?
I mean, they could
Quarterback.
flip it, but
Quarterback, dude?
I mean, you could go take best option. You could take an offensive lineman. Go get the best offensive lineman off the board. I mean,
I was thinking defensive lineman. Go get the best defensive lineman.
they did that this year.
Yeah, they stacked defensive line this
one
year.
more. One more.
They got
No.
2 defensive guys, nose guard and an outside linebacker DN. Nakobe Dean, is that his name? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got both of those guys who are super young. I think they could draft another young offensive lineman because they
Get
drafted
a fucking
center
receiver.
They drafted a center 2 years ago. I mean, maybe a tight end, a really good tight end if there's one. I don't know if there's like a next Kyle Pitts or something. I don't know. They could go all over the place with that pick. They could trade it if they wanted to. Like this team is really, really good right now.
Trade for a good a
Go
veteran
get the
tight
best
end.
corner.
That'd be good.
They have a good tight end.
I mean, yeah, they have
just
a good tight end.
got hurt today.
No, he didn't.
Go get another one. Go get another offensive lineman, another corner. I don't know. They it seems like they have great guys everywhere. Go get the best linebacker off the board, best pass rusher. That's what they should do. I mean, then they went and didn't they add the guy at the deadline? Pass rusher at the deadline. I mean, they're just making all the right moves. I love this Eagles team right now, even though they come off a loss to the Commies, who I absolutely despise.
I'm
Yeah,
right there with you though. I got the Eagles at number 2 as well. They lose tonight, but it don't matter. It don't matter.
you said Eagles at 3 because you have Chiefs at 2.
I have the Chiefs number 1.
Oh, yeah, you're right actually.
Yeah, damn right.
So where's Roman at? Right about that.
Roman had the Chiefs number 2.
Roman had Chiefs number 2, yes. And now we're on 3. Or did you go 2, Shenny?
Yeah, I just went Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Eagles are my number 3.
All right, then Vikings my number 3.
So we're very similar in the top 3.
Yeah, a little mix around, but
So
very.
yeah, a little mixed round. Shit, on my phone. So does that mean our number 4 is all the same?
Everybody
Oh.
say it on 3. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Bills.
Bills.
Yeah. Good job, everybody. Good job. Good job.
All right. So this is where shit gets real.
Yes.
Because we all came to an agreement for once.
Yep.
And we might not again for the rest of the podcast, essentially.
Till week 17.
Yeah. Who knows? But all right. Who wants to start off? Number 5.
I can
I
go
will.
5.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna go Miami Dolphins.
This motherfucker.
So we do agree. So that's great. I mean, Tua has been absolutely great this year. When he starts and completes a game, he don't lose. That Dolphins offense is super explosive, and the key add for them was Jeff Wilson Jr. Adding him to that offense makes this team unreal. And I don't know how the 49ers make that deal, because you have your old coach over there who's worked with him before. And
Well, what I feel bad is because I feel like Mostert's been getting replaced by the same dude in 2 different places now.
yeah, back-to-back years, like he hates this dude.
That's what. Unless he's the biggest team guy, like I'd be pissed. Damn, we got fucking
he
Jeff
can't be the
Wilson
biggest
again.
team guy. He can't be.
That's what I'm saying.
He might be a team guy, but to this guy, Jeff, he's pissed at this guy.
2 different teams, and he was cooking. It's not like he was doing bad. He was cooking, and he was cooking in San Francisco too. And then Jeff Wilson comes in and makes a couple big plays, and now all the stats are towards him.
Yeah, but I mean, this Dolphins team, man, you can't take anything away from the Tyreek Waddle combo. I mean, those guys are both top 5 wide receivers in this league, stat wise. And yeah, Tua might be underthrown them, but they're so goddamn open. It hasn't really mattered.
No, it doesn't matter.
Like it really hasn't mattered yet, because we all said, "Oh, Tua's gonna underthrow them left and right." Like,
haven't seen it yet.
He does he does underthrow them, but they're open still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike McDaniels has.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's just created an insane mastermind recipe. He has 4 of the fastest dudes in the NFL on his team. And that's exactly what he likes to coach, is spread you out. Let's run with us. If you think you're good, let's run with us. And it's clearly worked. Because Tua looks like an MVP quarterback out there.
Yes, he does. And it's wild. Because a year ago you saying that, I would have laughed. But he does. And a year ago me saying this, I would have laughed too. But this might be my official sleeper to win the Super Bowl, because they are so dirty offensively, especially when everyone's healthy and Tua's playing. They come out with random scrambles of offenses. And like you said, Jenny, he has some of the fastest guys in the NFL all packed into one offense. They move the ball well. And this defense still might not be as good as it once was, but is great. And them adding Bradley Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I said Nick, his cousin. All right, don't yell at me. But them adding Chubb has been absolutely fantastic for this defense, because I was watching the game and they talked about it. Now this defense don't have to blitz as much. Now they could go into coverage and trust that their rush is going to get there. Because before you have one guy getting to the quarterback, he might scramble out. Now you have Chubb absolutely like destroying right now. Like he's probably playing the best football he's played in his career right now. And I think this Dolphins team is only going to get better because they still haven't played that many like snaps together. And I truly think this is a dead honest sleeper to win the Super Bowl. I
like that.
truly think that like it's week 10 right now, and I want to put this on record that I truly think the Dolphins can confuse people offensively and stunt people defensively, that they could win a Super Bowl. I think Mike McDaniels, he's that dude offensively. I think I don't know. We'll see in the coming weeks, and obviously the NFL is not easy, but for the moves they made in the last 2 years, like those moves that those teams make that win Super Bowls, they've made the moves.
Yeah,
Yeah, not mad at that.
they are dangerous. And
Lot of
anybody can come
firepower.
out of the AFC too. You saw last year the Bengals. None of us thought they would even come close to making it.
You're totally right. So this is why I feel like the Dolphins are perfect. Perfect.
The Dolphins are the next Bengals.
Possibly that would be awesome because Tua would be the best quarterback in his draft at that point, taking his team to the Super Bowl. So
Seems, I mean, 2 out of the 3 guys drafted in that draft.
yeah, already.
Shit.
Jeez.
Not a good
we all had the same pick for number 5, by the way.
Really?
Oh, so why didn't you say it at the same time?
Because you guys were saying it already.
I didn't think we were gonna go back that quick.
Yeah.
Nice.
We just said everybody we might not have the same.
Getting
pick.
hot in Miami.
Yep. Very
Top 5, breaking in my top 5, first time all year.
very.
Yes, sir.
All right, don't let me go 6 because I shouted too early last time.
Number 6, I'll go.
Hold on, let's see if I think we might have the same.
You think we'll have the same?
Maybe.
Is it an East Coast team?
No.
No.
Oh, all right. Then I'll go first. Then mine is an East Coast team, and it is my fluke team of the year, the New York Giants. They continue to find ways to win. I know they play the Texans, but it doesn't matter. They're 7-2, 6-team on my top 10 week 10, and I'm not even worried about it. Saquon is good, and he will continue to be good. But the Giants, I'm waiting for them to fall off. So I'm going to keep ranking them high, and I'm going to ride this out until they can fall off. Giants number 6.
I'm totally glad we didn't have the same team here. I do not think the Giants are that good. Yeah, their record might show something different, but
I can only judge them off their record.
I cannot, because I take in the fact of who they play and what happened and the refs. I take it all. I take it all in the factor.
The refs?
How could you not take the refs in a factor?
No, I'm just saying that's like a odd thing to just. Oh, I remember when the ref caught a shitty call in that game.
Are you
week
kidding
3.
me? Some of the biggest games all time have ref fuck ups.
It's not a fuck up. It's always the correct call.
No,
always correct.
They are always right. The refs are always right.
Was it Saints Rams when the guy just absolutely tackled the dude while the ball was like a foot away? No call, no PI.
Well, you can challenge that now. Rule change.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
PIs.
You can challenge PIs.
No, that rule was in effect for 1 season. That was it. They ejected that rule. They said it took up way too much time.
Wow, that's bullshit. So
yeah, you can't challenge PIs. That was a one and done rule. NFL said, yeah, made the rest too bad.
Throw that away.
Yeah, didn't know that. Sorry.
No, you can't challenge penalties. Like the Eagles game tonight, they had that face mask on the fumble.
Face mask fumble. Dallas Goedert. Yeah,
that's not a PI though.
You can't challenge any penalties. They got rid of it.
That wasn't the rule on the field. That's probably why, though.
I'm just telling you, you can't challenge penalties.
Well, that's stupid.
You look it up.
That's what I'm telling you.
I would agree, but definitely don't think the Giants are 16. All right, I'll go or Roman. You want to go?
I'll go. My number 16 is the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, another team that I don't think.
Yes, sir. They had not a bad game. I mean,
No, that was bad. That was terrible.
they scored 28 points.
They were up 28-14 going into the
Yeah.
fourth quarter.
Yeah, defense.
First, a terrible team was
defense
on
lost
record.
this game. But I think this team is good. I think their offense has just got to get it together. Dak has to not throw so many picks. I think Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott got it going good in there. CeeDee Lamb's balling out right now.
Zeke didn't play, FYI. Sorry.
Okay, but you know what I mean.
Pollard is balling though.
Pollard's balling when Zeke is in there. Pollard and Zeke do pretty well together as a running back duo. Yes, offensive line could do a little better, but I think they're 6-3 right now. I've lost to some pretty good teams, beat good teams they're supposed to beat. I like where they play the Vikings and the Giants next, so I think those are two games that they could win. Let's see. We'll see where they're at.
They gotta drop their nuts on the table for that.
Yeah. I mean, the Cowboys are a good team. I definitely thought about them. They are not on my list at all.
The fuck?
I don't like them right now.
They're a top 10 team. They are a top 10 team.
They have.
But I don't respect them that much. I respect the Giants more. The Giants took their spot.
If you have another team on there in your top 10, I'm gonna be a little pissed.
Yeah, I do have some disrespectful teams in this top 10, not gonna lie to you. So I'm just not totally bought in on the Cowboys because I mean, yeah, I think they are better with Tony Pollard on the field always, and that's not the case always. I mean, Zeke Elliott is their starting back and he's terrible. And the offense looks way worse with him on the field. It's a shame to say, but I don't think Mike McCarthy has the nuts to bench Zeke, and because that's just not what Jerry wants. But I'm not sold on the Cowboys through week 10. I don't even know if they make the playoffs.
They're 6-3.
They're a fringe team though. Are they not?
No, they're not
really
right now. They're the third wild card, or at least second wild card team, third wild card team.
Okay, but if they win next week, they're 7-3.
That's next week's decisions. That is next week's. As of right now, I'm not sold on them.
Okay.
My number 6 team, which I think is a better team, is the 49ers. I think the 49ers are a complete team right now. They have played really good ball. And them adding CMC, I know they didn't use him a lot versus Chargers. I don't know why. I think they're a good team.
Didn't need to.
They didn't need to. No, they didn't.
I think they played terrible against a very injured Chargers team.
I think the Chargers are still a threat each week, though. They play decent enough football where it scares people. But I don't know. I think this 49ers team is good. I think that they are going to climb out of that record. I know it's not the best record, but I still think they're a good team. I think they flow really well with Jimmy. And I know they're going to have some good wins and some bad losses, but I still think that 49ers team with the weapons, the Debo, the CMC, I mean, they're just full of them. And they seem like they're still pretty healthy at this point of the year after they already went through their injuries.
Yeah. Just speaking on them, I have them on my list, but not as high. I feel like it gets too easy. It's too easy for teams to score on them sometimes. Like some drives, it's just way too easy. And yes, they did come back and they win a lot of their games, but sometimes I feel like it's way too easy for some of these teams. They just drive down the field. Everything's clicking. And it might just be that first 15 game script that a lot of teams build that's just competitive, but I don't know. That's why they're lower on my list.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Yeah, we all do 6?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Should I go again?
Number 7. Yeah, go ahead, shoot for it.
Number 7, Baltimore Ravens.
Same.
Same.
Yep.
I think this team is playing really good. They 3 losses have been fourth quarter losses. I mean, almost wins. This team has ran the ball really well. I mean, I think they're first in rushing, fourth in passing. If their defense keeps them in these games, I mean, they're liable to win every game. Like you've seen it. I mean, they like I said, they're every game in the fourth quarter that they've lost, they've been in. I think if their defense can play a little better, a little harder, this team can win the playoffs for sure. I don't know about the Super Bowl, but win the playoffs.
I'm still a little like teeter-totterish on this Ravens team because they put together good games and then they end up like losing them. But I still think they play really well, and I still think Lamar is a threat versus anyone. He just plays different, especially with his run game and capability. But they are number 7. This is where the list, I mean, gets freaky at because I mean, 1 week and the bottom half of this list like falls out. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Ravens.
Ravens.
I definitely don't think that they will continue to be here. I don't think they're that great of a team.
They're not a good team. No
Honestly.
wide receivers still.
Like that's one of their main issues. They're running with Devin Duvernay is like a number 1 right now or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just don't think the Ravens are going to last deep into the season, but I'm gonna give them their flowers now because I think they've played well and Lamar's kept them in every single game. It feels like so. I'm gonna give them their flowers. I don't think they will continue their reign, but that whole division seems a little sloppy right now. So we will see.
Yeah, my 7 is the 49ers. I have them at 7 for me. 1 below you guys. Had to make you think they're a little lower, but they
Nope,
weren't.
not me.
They were just right behind you.
They're lower for me too.
That's okay.
Oh, it's from the sound of it, Trevor, it seemed like they were way lower on your list. You were talking about it.
Not 1 behind.
It made it seem like they were like number 10 on your list.
Yeah. No.
We're just 1 below.
We're at 7. Who's your 7 then, Roman?
I already said
It was
it.
Ravens with me.
Oh fuck, you're right. All right, who's the 8
You go
then?
number 8. You go number 8.
Me, you want me to go number 8?
Yeah.
This team was not on the field Sunday, but I'm gonna rank them at the 8 team in my
Same.
rankings.
Also same.
The New York Jets
Oh,
are my
shit. Not
number
mine.
8
Never
team.
mind. Back up.
I think this defense is pretty solid and they can keep offenses off the scoreboard, which that's all this team can need because their offense isn't that good in my opinion after losing Breece Hall, but they can score 20 points a game, you know. Zach Wilson doesn't look terrible.
Yeah.
Last year he looked terrible. This year he doesn't look terrible.
Their game changer, Sauce Gardner, is absolutely a stud. He's been locked down this year. I have the Jets a little bit below you, Trevor, but they did make the top 10. They're playing great all the way, like defensively, at least. Totally sound mind football defensively. Zach Wilson hasn't been terrible. They're going to need him to continue to win in this league. That's just how games work. Like, yeah, your defense is good. They go on a solid stretch where they win you games, but they will get to a point, and that's why I have them lower, that they need him to win games. And there's going to come to a question where is Zach Wilson the guy? Because defensively, we're there right now. But, like this Jets team seems like it's the Dolphins when Tua was a rookie.
Yeah.
It seems like they're a year behind 2 years behind the Dolphins, but they don't have the picks, they don't have the capital that the Dolphins had to like add to this team. They are a couple of stud wide receivers away from making moves because I really like who they picked up this year. Garrett
Wilson.
Wilson. I almost said Garrett Anderson, fucking baseball player. But yeah, Garrett Wilson. He's been really good for them. Seemed like Joe liked him a little bit more when Joe was playing, but I like the Jets right now. It's a weird thing to say. It's week 10 of the NFL, and I'm saying I like the Jets right now. So definitely feels weird coming out my mouth, but it's a good pick. I don't have a mate, but my number 8 team is a different New York team, Giants.
Also,
Um,
same.
same. Uh,
That's what I was thinking.
the Giants, I
Ha!
have to give them their flowers because I roasted them so early in the season and said they had no wide receivers and no talent, but they're winning games. What'd you say? They're 7-2, Trevor?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hell yeah.
yeah, they deserve to be higher, like you said, because of their rating or their overall record, but I just don't think they're that great still. I know Saquon's been playing great and Daniel Jones has been playing way better than he ever has, but it's the day ball effect. This Giants team is going to have room to grow, hopefully, cut some of those old wide receivers that you overpaid in Galladay and Slayton and go get some young guys maybe. But we'll see. I mean, the Giants are still a couple pieces away from being a good team. I know they're what they are right now is what they are, and their record shows, but I definitely think that they will not be on this list very soon.
It's
Who
possible.
knows?
It
The
is
list
possible.
It's
the list
possible.
grows, so they actually, I'll probably be wrong in that same.
You're gonna be very wrong because they will be top 17 the whole year.
Yeah, probably. So
You're gonna have to say them the rest of the week.
I'm just a hater. I just don't like their
Yeah.
team at all. Like the roster whatsoever, I do not like. Saquon Barkley is the only spark in this team to me, but they're showing me otherwise. They are playing good football.
I think this defense is playing spectacular. They played really good against the Texans. Only let them score one time inside the red zone out of 6 chances. I think if the offense can play with the defense and become a full team, I think this team is very scary. But
Scary?
like you said, they could lose it all in a couple weeks. Who knows?
Yeah, they could. I hope not. Actually, I do hope they do. My number 9 team, I'll start off because it was already said. The Baltimore Ravens. I think they are perfect right here at 9 because I don't think they're that good. But I also think that some of these teams behind them can beat them. They're I just don't I don't I might have a slight bias towards the Ravens, but I just don't see them as a complete team. Their defense looked terrible to start the year. Now they're looking better, keeping them into games. But at the same time, I saw them give up 35 straight points to the Dolphins and lose in this second half. Yeah, that loss maybe has turned out a little bit better for them because the Dolphins are pretty fucking good. But at that point, Tua wasn't necessarily the dude that was just coming out party. He was out on the streets walking at that point. But I'm gonna put the Ravens at 9. They are leading that division. That's a tough division that they're leading. So that's why they give a little bit of respect at number 9.
Tough.
Not mad.
Not sure to use that. Number 9, I got the Titans here. They continue to play well football. I mean, without their quarterback, Tannehill, it's been a ride for them. I mean, Malik is only a couple starts into his career, but I still think they're playing good football. Derrick Henry, when he shows up, they win games. They're 6-3 for a reason. I don't know. Another team that I think this is just a top 10, and I'm giving them a little bit of boost for their record. I do not think they're that good, but hey, on top of their division, and it's going to be a playoff team. I mean, we'll see the Titans because the rest of that division's doo-doo. I mean, maybe the Colts have a comeback under Saturday. Who knows? We'll see. I would love to see it, I guess. But the Titans, I mean, I'm going to give them their flowers because they are leading their division 6-3. They definitely need help. I mean, they don't have any wide receivers. And it's hard for a young guy to come into a team that's just beat up. You know,
Yeah.
like that's what's so hard for Malik to like do anything. Like it's either you're gonna run the ball to Derek and we'll get a couple yards, or Malik try to make a play. And
Yeah.
that's basically what they're doing right now. And it's working for the most part. I don't think it's gonna work unless Malik just becomes what the Bears have in their quarterback right now, because Justin Fields has been absolutely unreal.
Don't see it.
I don't see it either, because I mean it took Justin Fields a while to get finally like comfortable in the NFL. But I do want to touch on him a little bit because I want to give him his props. Justin Fields has been absolutely phenomenal the last couple weeks. And I hope it stays. Like I hope this is something that it's not a fluke. But we're seeing the Ohio State Justin Fields like fully prosper.
Yeah.
They finally like stuck a offense like play style around him. You got the trash coach and GM out of Chicago that were just running the Bears into a freaking trash can. But it finally seems like they've found a playbook that like fits. So now the Bears had to spend the next year finding a roster for him, because that roster is so gross. Like it.
I mean, they traded their top of their two of their top 3 players. They just traded.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to try to build through the draft and whatnot, but they definitely need to get this man some help, because Darnell Mooney, he's good.
They got him help.
Claypool, really? He's that much of some help?
He's help. 1 catch, 2 yards today. Yeah, yesterday.
Damn.
Fabulous day.
We
Fabulous.
just stole a draft pick from them. Easy. Thank you.
I mean, Claypool did have a great start to his career.
Because he was playing with the Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah. And then, nothing. It's been a whole lot.
Then he went on the Pivot podcast and said he was
might
a
have went all
top
to
3
his head.
receiver.
Might have went all to his head.
He did go to Notre Dame.
I mean, Notre Dame's known for having bad players.
My number 9 team is the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're right behind this team in the division. They're very inconsistent, but I think their offensive play is very powerful. Jamar Chase coming back from injury is good for this team. I think Joe Burrow can do it. I mean, we saw him do it last year. This team isn't too much different than last year. They're starting to run the ball a lot more. If their defense can play well, I think this Bengals can win the division.
Yeah, that's gross. Because I saw the Bengals get absolutely toyed with by the Browns on Monday Night Football, and ever since that game, I just can't with them. Yes, they did blow out the Panthers, but still, the Browns, Jacoby Brissett's Browns, literally toyed with them. Like they looked bad.
One fluke game of the year. Everybody
And
gets one.
don't remember they lost to the Steelers week 1. Don't forget about that.
Steelers were good for 1 week.
You're right with Mitch.
Exactly.
All right.
What happened?
Everyone gave their number 9?
Yes, sir.
Number 10 for me was the Jets. They were sad. I already gave them my flowers, so go ahead.
Number 10 for me is San Francisco 49ers. Everybody already gave them their flowers. They suck to me, though. Barely made top 10. I'm just salty they beat the Chargers. But
it was a great game. It was a great game.
Team looks good. Hafanga's great at safety. Jimmy,
you got a 7.5 point spread. You're supposed to win.
I guess so.
And they could have won by 11.
Didn't.
But Kyle Shanahan has respect for the NFL and has respect for the game of football. So
he has respect for my pockets too.
Yeah, that must be nice.
He was looking out for me.
Also has respect for mine for not scoring points there under season. My number 10 was the Dallas Cowboys. Moved back from our last one we did, but I still think this team is a top 10 team in this league. They're getting Dak back. Yeah, they might have had a kind of a I want to call it a disaster of a loss, but they were up 14 points going in the fourth quarter, and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers come back at Lambeau in overtime. Like, good teams really don't let that happen. But maybe Lambeau just has that effect on teams and players that go there. But the Cowboys are my 10. And then I just want to give a quick little fringe team on the outside looking in. My couple teams that I just want to talk about: the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Green Bay Packers. They're both 5-5 right now, and they're getting ready for a playoff push. And these two teams, I expect to make the playoffs. So watch the fuck out for these two teams. Just
Hey,
saying.
the Lions are 2-0 last 2 weeks.
Yep, best team in the NFL.
Scary team. Scary team. Dan Campbell might have something to cook up for the NFL.
Right when Bob said, "Is it time to fire Dan Campbell?" They win 2 straight games.
Hey, I said it on Twitter too. Dan Campbell watched that episode of Average Takes.
Oh, it
He
scared
liked.
him.
Did he
It
see your
had to have
tweet?
scared him.
He had to have watched because they flipped the switch.
I just flipped the switch.
Last subject before we get out of here. I want you guys to predict Odell Beckham Jr.'s next team. Go.
So, my first team off the top of my head is the Cowboys. I would love to see him in Dallas playing with Dak, spread that offense out. Another team that is probably a shocker or a sleeper in this whole Odell situation that I would love to see him playing with is the Vikings.
The Vikings. Ooh,
I think that would be absolutely electric for him to go to Minnesota with Jay Jettas as a third wide receiver for little Cuzzy out there.
that's good. Honestly, you stumped me with this question. I haven't thought about Odell Beckham Jr. in a while. But I think a good team that he will fit on is I want to say the Bills. I feel like the Bills
Bucks.
need one more piece, one more firepower piece. I think that would be nice. Von Miller's going to recruit him over there after just winning the Super Bowl with the Rams. I think that'll be nice if he lands in Buffalo.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I honestly agree with you, Trevor. I think the Cowboys are just going to give him a bucket of change and it's going to be a lot of money. But a sleeper team that I would love to see him on is the 49ers. So we will see. I truly think that the Niners, I've been hearing rumblings of the Niners. Like been hearing a couple teams for a while. You've been hearing the Bills for a long time. You heard the Rams, but the Rams have been terrible. But all of a sudden I started hearing rumblings of the 49ers. So I'm just going to throw that on here just for the sake of it. But if I were to actually truly guess, I'm right there with you, Trevor. I think the Cowboys. I think that just makes too much sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
They need a wide receiver, and Jerry Jones at this point, it's past the trade deadline. Jerry knows the only thing he could do is spend a little bit of cash.
You're sitting at 6-3. Your offense needs something.
And the Eagles are so damn good right now that you need a boost. Like he in the back of his head, he has to remember what the Amari Cooper boost was for Dak. Like you remember that first 3 weeks Amari Cooper was a Cowboy?
Yeah.
It was the greatest trade all time for Jerry Jones. It was crazy. It made Dak look awesome. Amari Cooper looked awesome. Like it was unreal. Then they get rid of him. The offense is not the same, I think, without another good. And Odell is a certified. He's number one.
He's a dog.
Is CD a number one? Like truly a number one in this league?
I don't know, but Dak has been finding some good rapport with Dalton Schultz now, the tight end. And when you got a good tight end you like throwing to, and you got a number 1 wide receiver, you got a number 2 wide receiver, things can get fishy.
All right. Well, nothing wrong with being average.
Not a damn problem with being average.
Thank you guys.
Shout out Steelers.
Love my fans. Steelers, shout out 3-6.
Garbage.
Nice. All right. Deuces.